Holy cow, Biden concedes. They're finally talking, and a whistleblower accuses Biden of bribery. This could very well impeach President Biden. So President Biden has finally conceded and has now set a meeting with U.S. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy regarding the debt limit, hours after Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen warned the United States that we could default. Now you gotta ask though, why wait until someone says that we might default? I mean, if you're on Social Security, if you're on SSI, SSDI, if you're a veteran, or if you're low income, you would want to at least think that they're working on this urgently, right? Top congressional Republicans are now saying that the FBI has information about an alleged bribery scheme that involves the then Vice President Joe Biden, and that a whistleblower has provided information about this scheme. Now, the White House says that this is just an unfounded political attack. Kind of reminds me of this one comment. I just can't find it, but I remember somebody saying something like, what if corrupt politicians could be ousted from office? How many do you think would actually be left? Now, that's not the exact comment, but it's the same concept. It's the same idea. Now, federal prosecutors are now getting very close to deciding whether to press charges against first son Hunter Biden or not. You know, it would be something if they were investigating this for like a year or so, but they've been doing it for like 4 years. At some point, you got to ask, like, what is taking them so long to decide? Like, either do something or stop talking about it. It's a 50-50, yes or no. Is it that difficult? Or is this coming from critics of the Biden family? Do you believe that the president is the reason as to why nothing has materialized from all of these investigations? Are we just wasting taxpayer money on investigations that will ultimately go nowhere? Hit me up in the comments down below, just yes or no on that one. We're going to go ahead and jump right in, but before we do, for the very best way to invest in gold or silver, check out the links in the description down below this video. So, many American households are on the edge about the debt ceiling debacle that we've heard about for weeks now, and it's no surprise that the president is now finally ready to talk. But the problem is, he acknowledged how important it is, and then he pretty much set up a meeting for the following week. Think of it this way. So your car's tire is low on air pressure, right? And you're going to be driving the entire weekend. Do you get your tire checked for damages? Do you fill it with air immediately? Or do you just drive and hope for the best? Critics are saying that the president is opting for the latter decision. Now, if the debt limit was a top concern, why don't they talk about it like now? The president will meet with Speaker Kevin McCarthy and Senate leaders Chuck Schumer and Mitch McConnell about this particular issue. A senior administration official explained why Chuck Schumer and Mitch McConnell were invited to this meeting, where others expected a one-on-one between Biden and McCarthy. The anonymous official said, quote, "The meeting is primarily about negotiating the normal budget process, where all four leaders have a stake. And, of course, any bill to avoid Congress forcing a default on the American people has to pass both chambers of Congress," end quote. Okay. However, it seems pretty clear that the president is not going to listen to any budget cuts. Michael Kikukawa, a White House assistant press secretary, he said, quote, "President Biden invited the four congressional leaders to the White House to discuss the urgency of preventing default. In that meeting, he will stress that Congress must take action to avoid default without conditions, and he will discuss how to initiate a separate process to address the budget and fiscal year 2024 appropriations," end quote. So guys, what are your thoughts on this one? I feel like, yeah, they're probably going to discuss the ceiling, the debt default or whatever, but there's many other things that are more important, more pressing issues on their agenda, and that's the real deal. But what are your thoughts? And what are your thoughts on the news that the federal prosecutors are now getting close to making a decision whether to criminally charge Hunter Biden or not? Now, some aren't very excited about this whole update as they've been deciding on this for quite some time now. Biden's attorneys met with U.S. Attorney David Weiss about this recently, with people familiar with the matter saying that Weiss is getting very close to the end of his decision-making process.
Well, we've got a list of the charges against Hunter Biden, or what we know to be the charges in Delaware: 2 misdemeanor counts for failing to file taxes, felony count for tax evasion, felony count for lying on a federal form to purchase a firearm. As a number of people have suggested, this stuff is so ordinary, it should have been done in 5 days, not 5 years. But the beat goes on. What's ironic to me, or what's particularly interesting to me, is that this judge in Arkansas, north of Little Rock, deep in the Ozarks, for heaven's sake, this judge may discover what everyone else has been looking for the last 5 years. That is a possibility. She got Hunter in court, and they're going to be asking tough questions for him.
But, and here's what you have to realize here, no specific timetable was provided. So saying that a decision coming soon could mean it's being released tomorrow or a year from now. There's really no telling when it's actually going to be determined. I guess this is why some critics are saying that it's hard to remove the factor that Hunter Biden is still the first son, and that any investigations about him are sure to be met with with tons of political bias. Do you guys think that this is going to be the case? Or are these critics just reading too much into the time that it's taking before a decision is made regarding the younger Biden? Now, Hunter is not the only one being investigated, as House Oversight and Accountability Chairman James Comer and Senator Chuck Grassley are both investigating a possible bribery scheme that involves the president. So they've actually issued a subpoena to FBI Director Chris Wray about a document that they say contains information about the scene. So here's part of the letter that they sent to Wray and Attorney General Merrick Garland. It says this, quote, "The Department of Justice, the DOJ, and the Federal Bureau of Investigations, the FBI, possesses an unclassified FD 1023 form that describes an alleged criminal scheme involving then Vice President Biden and a foreign national relating to the exchange of money for policy decisions. It has been alleged that the document also includes a precise description of how the alleged criminal scheme was employed as well as its purpose," end quote. Well, that kind of sounds like it's spilling the beans and, provides a motive, provides the exact how to execute this thing. Could Biden be impeached with this newfound information? White House spokesperson for Oversight and Investigations, Ian Sims, he had this to say about the allegations, quote, "For going on 5 years now, Republicans in Congress have been lobbying unfound, unproven, politically motivated attacks against the president and his family without offering evidence for their claims or evidence of decisions influenced by anything other than U.S. interests. When it comes to President Biden's personal finances, anybody can take a look. He has offered an unprecedented level of transparency, releasing a total of 25 years of tax returns to the American public," end quote. Now, a spokesperson for Hunter Biden said that he had every right to pursue his own business endeavors, although questions about bribery continue to hound the Biden household. A whistleblower even says that this happened during President Biden's time as VP, an act that may have had him impeached from his current position today. Do you think that this is a possibility? Now, some are saying that we can be provided with all the evidence in the world, but to be honest, little to no action is taken. So what are you guys' thoughts on this? Make sure to drop me some comments down below. I want to hear from you guys. And we're certainly living in some interesting times, aren't we? I mean, it's like we're seeing different allegations about crimes and wrongdoings every other day, but to be honest, most of these are secondary to the wrongs that are being done to us at the stores. Now, I'm talking about the continued rising prices of goods, like how much we're paying in extra these days, right? When was your last visit to Target or to Walmart? It's crazy, right? But it does help that I'm working with more than one income, and to be honest, you could too. Now, I always look forward to hearing from you guys in the comments down below. I want you guys to talk to me. If you're one of the countless people in our community that need some guidance when it comes to getting started as an entrepreneur, that wants to learn more about side hustles and small businesses, home-based businesses that could generate multiple streams of income, even passive income, feel free to hit me up in the comments down below. We could also talk about the stock market, investing in ETFs and index funds, mutual funds. We can talk about investing in real estate, the tax advantages of being a real estate investor, and how real estate has been used by most of the wealthy Americans, and it has been leveraged for years to increase their net worth. Anyway, if you guys want to talk more about this, hit me up in the comments down below. Financial freedom is attainable. It's just a lot of hard work and patience, but it is possible. Now, before I go, guys, drop a like, share this video, support the channel by subscribing for your daily dose of the truth. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. Be safe.